get your cannons, go to World 66, it's time to riot. No, seriously though, the FsoA nerf and the Animate Dead nerf that are coming up are highly discussed in the community, but I want to tell you to calm your... Yeah, let's talk about it. Yo, what's going on guys? Morning Voice of Elric here, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming FsoA nerf, aka the Fracture Staff of Armadyl, and the Animate Dead nerf that are going to be happening. Well, they're called balancing changes, but let's be honest, they're probably nerfs because, well, they don't need buffing at all, and there's a lot of uproar about it in the community. But I feel like we need to calm down just a little bit and look at this from a bit of a rational perspective than just being like, oh, I bought Crit Stick and Crit Stick now gonna be bad. Yeah, I want to be looking at just in general people's concerns and what might happen on Thursday's stream, because as of me making this video on the 14th of March, which is 2 days out from the live stream where they will be showing us what they're going to be changing, they're not just going to be talking about it, they're also going to be showing us, and they're also going to be being open for discussion. It doesn't mean that we can change them, but they are there to hear out our concerns. That's what people have been saying, well, moderators have been saying all over social media, so I just don't want you guys to worry. And yet again, this is just speculation, this is not facts. I don't know anything, I have no insider information. All I know is that the live stream on Thursday is going to show us what they're going to be changing, and that they're going to be talking about the changes. But if you're going to enjoy this video, definitely leave a like. Let me know your opinion in the comment section down below. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? What do you think they're going to be doing? How do you think they're going to be changing? And let's just have a little bit of fun about speculation, and let's not go to any conclusions before things actually happen, because a lot of people are kind of overreacting at the moment, and there are good reasons for it, and we'll get into it. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Subscribe if you're new. I'm also live on Twitch every single day using my own Crit Stick at 6 PM game time, and I don't know what that converts to American times now because of summer times, but hey, figure it out. But let's just get into it. So first of all, what's going to happen? Well, let's be honest, I think they're going to be nerfing Animate Dead and Fracture Staff of Armadyl. And one of the biggest arguments that I see, especially for the Fracture Staff of Armadyl, for people being angry, it has been 18 months, why are you nerfing it now? And I think that is a very good response to a certain extent. Look, the FsoA is too overpowered. Jaggers have said multiple times that they think it is too overpowered. And let's be honest, it is too overpowered. I mean, they even came out to say that Zamorak is based or balanced around the use of Animate Dead and the Fracture Staff of Armadyl, which obviously doesn't mean that you can't use any other styles, but let's be honest, that is what most people use there, especially for the higher in rages, and especially if you're a little bit lower skill level. And the same goes with Animate Dead. Animate Dead has been very powerful, and I believe it already had a nerf, but it still is very, very good, and pretty much tank armor to a certain extent is best in slot everywhere. I mean, sure, you can use Tectonic for more DPS, but why would you want more DPS if you can just eat less food and just have to worry less about, you know, not doing DPS and doing DPS, more DPS because of it? Because if you're more worried about eating and more worried about, you know, dodging mechanics, etc., you'll be losing ticks, which means DPS pretty much. And the same goes with Animate Dead and, well, Crit Bloom in this case, because you're not having to eat and can ignore certain mechanics, you can do more DPS. So that 5% DPS change between Tectonic and Crit Bloom might actually be half of it, and the 2% is probably not that big of a deal. But hey, I'm no efficient PVMer, and that's just my personal opinion, right? But another concern that a lot of people... Oh, wait, sorry. Let me go to the point of, like, why do it now? Well, the thing is, you could say, why do it now? But as I said, it still is an issue, right? Like, it still is an issue that it's too powerful, so it needs to be fixed. And people are like, well, it's too late now. Well, let me argue something. They nerfed Black D'hide after 20 years in old school RuneScape, and the Blowpipe after 7 years. And it had a very positive effect on the meta and made it so that the Blowpipe, which was their best range weapon pretty much, isn't best in slot everywhere anymore. I mean, I wouldn't say that old school's balancing is perfect, but at least it made it so that the meta is a little bit more varied than just, oh, new boss, use a Blowpipe. And that is pretty much the same in RuneScape 3. Oh, new boss, use Fracture Staff, Armadyl, and Animate Dead, and don't really bother with the mechanics, which obviously isn't a good thing. And it will always happen like that, right? There will always be one thing that will be just slightly better or just on top of everything. We used to have range with Criminal Bolts, and now we have Fracture Staff of Armadyl with Animate Dead. So should they nerf it or should they buff other styles? Well, I mean, as I said, we don't know what they're going to be doing. I have an idea what they might do, and we'll get into that just in a little bit. There will be timestamps if you just want to listen to me talking about that, then just skip. As I said, I have no insider information, so it's just my best guess, right? But I think the main concern that a lot of people have is over-nerfing. And with that, I would say, yes, that's my biggest concern as well, because that happened with the Ring of Death. The Ring of Death was utterly overpowered and needed a nerf. 100%, I do agree. I made a whole video on it, right? But now they nerfed it to a certain extent that the majority of people that were using it, which is like, I would say like 90% of the people that were using it, are not using it anymore because it was nerfed into the ground, which I think they went overboard with it. I would have way preferred that it would have some like more learner-friendly uses than it does now. Now it's very niche, and you could say, okay, that's a good thing, but I would rather have it like more uses. But that's just my personal opinion, right? Like you can think about it differently. And that happened with a lot of other content in the past, where they do a nerf to it and then they just kind of over nerf it and go overboard. Like same with like tuning things. They usually make things too overpowered and then they nerf it and it's underwhelming and then no one cares for it anymore. But I'm pretty sure that they want to make it so that people are still using it, because they have said multiple times, and I do believe them. You can call me stupid for it, but I generally do believe them on this, that they don't want to waste people's time. And what they mean with that is they also do understand the value of the Fractal Armadillo. I mean, they dropped 1 billion GP as of me making this video since yesterday, which is insane. So if you want one, get them on the cheap, because I'm going to be telling you, they're probably not going to nerf it that much that it's literally useless. I think they're going to have it more in line DPS-wise with the Bow of the Last Guardian. And I don't know if you guys have seen the Bow of the Last Guardian, but that thing poops out DPS, so you will be fine. Like, seriously, you will be fine. But the thing is, like, a lot of people are scared that it will just be dead content and that it will not reign supreme anymore. And even if it doesn't, if it's just slightly less good than the Bow of the Last Guardian, then is that really a bad thing? Because that thing, as I said, still poops out damage. If it's still good, then why would we worry about it, right? And I think that's something that a lot of people are just worried about, and rightfully so, right? But I feel like they are aware of the time, and like people are working towards it and trying to buy it and trying to, you know, get their upgrades in the idea to get an FsoA and to get Crypt Bloom with Animate that. And I think they will do an okay job with it. I don't know if it will be perfect, right? Like, and people probably like, oh, you're defending Jagex, they're paying you. Oh, you recently talked to like the community manager, you're all on their side now, you pocketed. No, like that's just how I think in general. Like, we don't know, and they want to balance this game accordingly. Do you just want there to be this one stupidly overpowered weapon? Because quite frankly, let's be real to yourself, right? Like, look yourself in the mirror or on your front phone camera or whatever, and tell yourself, is the Fractal Staff of Armadillo really powerful? And very, very powerful. Maybe a little bit too powerful. Yes, I would say so, yes. And would that mean that any other weapon that will come out after this needs to be more powerful than the Fractal Staff of Armadillo? Yes, it does. And that is exactly the issue that they will be facing. Whatever comes next, the next big upgrade, I mean, we still need tier 95 wands and tier 95 crossbows. You either need to make them stronger than the FsoA, which you can just choose not to do because they're on the same tier. You're like, oh, this is the king of this tier. But as soon as you go to tier 96 or tier 97, whatever you choose to do, it needs to be more and a lot more powerful than the Fractal Staff of Armadillo. And then you're going to be seeing issues. And that's why they're doing this nerf. Because they know on the long term this will not be sustainable. Because this issue will just transfer over to the Fractal Staff of Slisk or something. I don't know. To the next big staff or whatever that comes out. And it's better for them, I guess, to fix it now than to fix it in the future. And I think that's something that a lot of people just don't seem to understand. And when it comes to what I think, when it comes to Animate Dead mainly, because we haven't even talked about Animate Dead, right? Like, I think they might just nerf Animate Dead with the lower armor sets. And the reason why I think that is mainly just because Animate Dead is very, very powerful with Genadormic. And Genadormic is like 2 million GP or something. That shouldn't be the case. Like, I understand that it's powerful with Crypt Bloom because it's a high tier armor set. But Genadormic, you can AFK Hellware with it, and I don't think that should be the case, and I think that definitely is a bit too overpowered. I think they will probably nerf it on like the lower, like armor sets type, and then they will keep it the same on the higher ones, or maybe like slight nerfs as well, but it will not be as noticeable. Maybe Crit Bloom will become the equivalent of Sea Singers. Now, Sea Singers with Animate Dead is still really, really good. So that's my guess when it comes to Animate Dead. And with the Fracture Staff of Armadale, I don't really know. I've seen a lot of people saying that crits will no longer occur with normal hits, because when you do the Fracture Staff of Armadale spec, you will have a chance of, well, if you crit, to have a normal hit on the side, which also does damage, but that also has the chance to crit, so you could just keep on farming DPS, keep on farming Adrenaline, because of your Tsunami and the critical synergy that is there. And I mean, I wouldn't be against it. You probably want to be using like the Channeler's Ring then, instead of the other ring that we use now, the Reaver's Ring, because crits will matter less, and it's more about getting Adrenaline back, so then the other one will be better. But that is my best guess, and I think that is probably what they will be doing, if I'm going to be honest. And if that is the case, then that, in my opinion, isn't too bad. But hey, I want to hear your opinions in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video, subscribe if you are new, and my name is Chivalric, and my disk space is running out, so I'm going to end this video. Much love, and